All right, so moving on to the final segment, we're going to pivot here to the world of football inside the NFL world. And I'll be sharing my final NFL mock draft. So the NFL draft is less than 24 hours away as I record this segment. What we're going to do is for the people that are watching the podcast, I'll have two different sections today, or break it up into two different pieces. Part one will be picks 1 through 16, and then part two will be picks 16 through 32. So out of the gates, my top 5 picks for this year's NFL draft. Number 1 overall is going to be Cam Ward, quarterback coming from the Miami Hurricanes. Now, Cam Ward is the best quarterback in my opinion for this NFL draft class. He has the poise, he has the arm strength, and has showed that he is a clutch fourth quarter quarterback for the Miami Hurricanes. He's going to be a great replacement for Will Levis after this pick for the Titans. That's when the NFL draft officially starts, in my opinion. So, 2, the Browns are going to select Travis Hunter. I think Travis Hunter has the abilities to either play wide receiver or cornerback in the National Football League, coming off his Heisman year that he had at Colorado. Could be a difference maker for this Cleveland Browns team, that is looking for a difference maker very quickly. Third overall, the New York Giants. I don't think they're going to trade down. I think they're going to draft Abdul Carter, edge rusher from Penn State. I think this is going to be Thibodeau's replacement. And I feel like Abdul Carter has the abilities to be an edge rusher and be a difference maker on this New York Giants football team. 4, I'm going to go with Will Campbell, offensive tackle from LSU. Drake May needs protection in his sophomore season. The Patriots have discussed the rebuilding the trenches on both sides of the ball, so this is the perfect 4th overall pick. And 5th overall, I'll go Mason Graham, defensive tackle from Michigan. The Jacksonville Jaguars will be selecting with that pick. So those are my top 5 picks. Now let's get into a deeper dive of why I have them going in those respective spots. So Cam Ward, obviously he's got the strong arm, great football IQ, can throw the ball in tight coverages, has the poise and the swagger needed to be the next big thing for the Tennessee Titans, and he's competed well in several close ball games for the Miami Hurricanes. So this is a difference maker that the Tennessee Titans are going to get. 2, Travis Hunter. I was contemplating with going with him or Abdul Carter with this pick, but I think Travis Hunter is too good. Best player overall in this draft class, a generational talent that can either play at the wide receiver or cornerback position, or could possibly play 2 positions at the national level in the National Football League. But I think this is the type of player that the Cleveland Browns cannot pass up on. And they need a difference maker quickly. And Travis Hunter is their guy. And plus, I could see him either being a wide receiver, playing alongside Jerry Jeudy, who just had the best year of his NFL career, a Pro Bowl year, or he could play cornerback alongside Denzel Ward. So this is a win-win situation for the Cleveland Browns as they pick with the 2nd overall pick. Now, the Giants, again, getting Abdul Carter, edge rusher for Penn State, makes the most sense here because I feel like number 11 is a baby Micah Parsons coming out of Penn State. He's a really good edge rusher. He plays fast. He plays aggressive. Does not take plays off. He's also good if you drop him back into coverage, playing at the linebacker position as well. So I think Abdul Carter gives the Giants a lot of upsides, and this would be a good boost for the New York Giants defensively. They were a solid unit before the Dexter Lawrence injury. Even though this team only won 3 ball games last year, they were still a solid and underrated defense in the National Football League. And they were at one particular point, they were leading the league in sacks at the beginning part of the season, and they were only surrendering 17 to 20 points per game in the beginning part of the NFL season until things eventually blew apart. But playmakers like Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns could be difference makers for this team moving forward. I definitely believe this would be the best overall pick. 4th, Will Campbell going to the New England Patriots makes the most sense here because this would be a good protection guy to protect Drake May in his sophomore season. Again, the Patriots were talking about upgrading at the positions in the trenches on both sides of the ball, offensive line, defensive line. So this is something that would be best for them, and drafting the best lineman in the draft is best for business for them. 4th overall. Again, Mason Graham going 5th overall to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think this makes the most sense because I'm a big fan of his game. He's good at defending the run. He has the athletic size, good at creating pressure on the quarterback, good at tipping the ball down at the line of scrimmage. This guy has it all. So I think that's where the Jacksonville Jaguars should go 5th overall. Now 6th, this is where things get spicy in my mock draft. 6th overall, I'm going with the Las Vegas Raiders. They will take the best offensive player left on the board, and that is Ashton Jeanty, running back from Boise State. Now, I feel like the Raiders, they might go offensive line here, but why pass on the opportunity to draft Ashton Jeanty, the best running back in this draft class? The Raiders had absolutely no answer in the running game last year after Josh Jacobs left town. They let him walk a free agency. He signed with the Packers, and the rest is history. So they needed another explosive playmaker to play in that Raiders offense. Ashton Jeanty has it all. He's an explosive playmaker with the ball in his hands, absolute dynamite, and open space. I think this is the best pick for the Raiders, 6th overall. Now 7 would be the New York Jets. I think they will get Armand Membo, offensive tackle from Missouri. Now, the Jets need protection up front for Justin Fields. This was a problem the last 2 years in New York. The protection up front was bad for the quarterbacks playing, whether it was Zach Wilson or Aaron Rodgers. They struggled up front offensively in the trenches last year. So I think Armand Membu from Missouri would be the best pick remaining for them in terms of getting the best offensive lineman left on the board. So 7 for the Jets makes the most sense. Now, 8 for the Panthers. They could go in different directions, but I'm going to go with Jalen Walker, edge rusher from Georgia. Now, he's explosive off the edge, and he has the size. He could either be an edge rusher or a linebacker. You can't go wrong with either position that these preferred NFL teams prefer him to play at the next level. Because Jalen Walker, he has the size. He's 6'1", 243 pounds. He may be a problem for offensive linemen as his NFL years go on and as he progresses to get to his peak in his prime in his NFL career. But people could say that he could possibly fill the void that Brian Burns left behind when he got traded. So this is definitely a good pick for the Panthers here, getting Jalen Walker at 8 overall to help, I would say, help improve their defense moving forward. Man, allergies are serious, guys. As I digress, number 9 overall, the New Orleans Saints. I have them selecting Shedeur Sanders, quarterback from Colorado. Now, this is a tricky situation. The Saints could go in different directions, but I think 9th overall, they're going to pull the trigger here and get Shedeur Sanders. I think they are the longest team in NFL history to not select a first-round quarterback out of the other 31 teams in the league. I think they're the longest team to go several years and decades without drafting a quarterback in the first round. But they'll do it here. And I think the Saints will have open arms for Shedeur Sanders. And this is a new era for the Saints. They need a new identity. They just brought in Kellen Moore. This is his first year being a head coach. Has had success in offenses with guys like Dak Prescott in Dallas, Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia with the Eagles after they just won the Super Bowl this year. He's had success calling plays in the past. And I think Shedeur Sanders would be a good fit with this New Orleans Saints team. They have Chris Olave. They have Alvin Kamara still on the offense. Brandon Cooks is still a serviceable number 2, number 3 option at the receiver position, a veteran player. But the reason why Shedeur Sanders would be a good pick here is Derek Carr is unlikely to possibly play with an shoulder injury for the 2025-26 regular season. Or if he does play, he's going to miss a big chunk of time. So why not throw Shedeur Sanders into a situation that a team that is starting to figure out what they want to do for their foreseeable future, throw him into the fire against a sorry NFC South division. I said it, a sorry NFC South division, to help him grow confidence. I think this is the best landing spot for Shedeur Sanders being a top 10 pick. So number 9 to the Saints makes the most sense for me here. Number 10 for the Bears. This one could get a little spicy, but I got them getting Tyler Warren, tight end from Penn State. Now, I think this would be a tremendous pick for the Bears at 10 here because he would be a great playmaker in Ben Johnson's offense. What did Ben Johnson just have in his offense? Ben Johnson just had Sam Laporta and his tight end in Detroit. Tyler Warren is a great player that would be a serviceable player in Ben Johnson's tricky offense. He's already a great route runner. He can line up in wildcat formations like you've seen at Penn State. He's a great run blocker as well. Might go down as the best offensive pass catcher in this entire draft class 3 to 5 years from now. So can you imagine him playing with Caleb Williams? This would be another weapon for him in his sophomore season. And they have DJ Moore still. They still have Odunze, who they drafted the first round last year. So Tyler Warren would be a perfect selection for the Bears. We'll see if he's selected 10th overall, but I think this would be a great pick for the Bears at 10. Now, 11 for the San Francisco 49ers. I think Will Johnson, cornerback from Michigan, would be the great pick here. Now, they could go with the offensive player. We'll see. But I think Will Johnson is a serviceable player for the San Francisco 49ers at 11. He's an incredible cornerback. I think he's the best cornerback in this draft class. He has incredible footwork, great football IQ, very competitive player that does not take plays off. He's a lockdown guy. The 49ers actually could benefit getting another DB in this draft because Robert Saleh is coming back in his second stint with the San Francisco 49ers after he got fired by the New York Jets. And they just lost Tre'Davious Ward in free agency, so they need to fill a void at the cornerback position. So I think Will Johnson be a serviceable pick with the 11th overall pick in this NFL draft. Now, 12th overall, my Dallas Cowboys will be on the board. And I have them selecting Matthew Golden, wide receiver from Houston. Now, I like Matthew Golden a lot. Don't get me wrong. The Dallas Cowboys need a good receiver here. He's a physical wide receiver, good route runner, knows how to separate from cornerbacks, create separation in space. Cowboys need to draft a wide receiver 12th overall because they need another serviceable number 2 wide receiver alongside CeeDee Lamb. Last year, Brandon Cooks was not a serviceable number 2 wide receiver. Jalen Tolbert didn't take the next step and the next leap in his young NFL career. Did not show up when it mattered most as a serviceable number 2 option. Jonathan Mingo, whatever the hell reason why Jerry Jones gave up a 4th round pick for him, he did not show up like he was a serviceable number 2 option. So I think Matthew Golden running a 4.2 40. I think he could literally play on the outside or play in the slot position. So I think he would be a serviceable pick for us at 12 as we figure out what we want to do next on the offensive side of the ball with Brian Schottenheimer calling plays for Dak Prescott this NFL season. Now, 13th overall, I would go with Jahdae Barron, cornerback from Texas for the Miami Dolphins. Now, Miami Dolphins, they are in the conversation for getting Jahdae Barron from the Texans because the fact that Will Johnson will probably be off the board here, I think this is the best DB to get if you're the Miami Dolphins, with the fact that Jalen Ramsey might not be in town for much longer. So the fact that Jahdae Barron is a great tackler in open space, has great ball hawk skills, a great in coverage, whether playing in zone or man coverage. With Jalen Ramsey possibly leaving Miami, this would be the next best thing for the Miami Dolphins to get a player like Jahdae Barron and bring him in town to South Beach. Or if Jalen Ramsey does stay, this would be a good player to play alongside with him. And they could have a good 1-2 punch at the cornerback positions. Now, 14th overall is the Indianapolis Colts. They could go in several different directions here. I'll go with Colston Loveland, tight end from Michigan. Now, I think Colston Loveland is the second best tight end in this draft behind Tyler Warren. And Colston Loveland loves to run slant routes. He's pretty good at that if you look at the tape on him. Great pass catcher in traffic, can be a good security blanket for whoever's going to be the starting quarterback for the Colts next year, whether that's Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones as they go into battle once training camp comes. But I think Colston Loveland is a great selection for the Indianapolis Colts, 14th overall. Wild card selection, but I think it's great. 15th overall, the Atlanta Falcons are on the clock. I will go with them getting Mike Green, edge rusher from Marshall. Now, a loaded draft class with edge rushers. There's a lot of great edge rushers in this draft class, but Mike Green could possibly be the best edge rusher in this entire draft class. And he has the upside. And the Falcons need a edge rusher. They ranked 31st in the league last year, second to last in total sacks with their team. So that was something that their defensive side of the ball lacked. They did not have any difference makers as edge rushers last year. Mike Green would be a great serviceable edge rusher. I mean, he's an athletic pass rusher, very strong, great finesse moves. Had 17 sacks last year with Marshall. I do believe he was a Sun Belt Player of the Year in that conference. So this guy can bring it, and I think he could be a difference maker for this Atlanta Falcons team moving forward on the defensive side of the ball. And the final pick that I'll go over for part 1 of the mock draft for those watching will be the Arizona Cardinals picking at 16. I have them. I'll go with McMillan, wide receiver from Arizona. Now, I do believe with the Dallas Cowboys possibly going Matthew Golden, 12th overall, and I feel like McMillan could slip in this draft class due to the fact that the Cowboys would probably bank on Matthew Golden and prefer him over McMillan from what I've seen in the reports. So McMillan is a physical wide receiver, good route runner, knows how to separate space and separation from cornerbacks. And I think it would be a good offensive player alongside Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Trey McBride at tight end. This would be another playmaker for Kyler Murray, make the Arizona Cardinals better on the offensive side of the ball. I think this would be a good overall pick for them, 16th overall. But that is part one of my NFL mock draft for the 2025 NFL draft.